Welcome, 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 y'all. Look at my beautiful queens over here. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, y'all. This is where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Now, today we are diving into a startling statistic. This is my wheelhouse. And I know we love to have fun on Fly Nubian Money and talk about all the things pop culture, but this I think is extremely important to us as Black women. It's important to us as a culture, as a community. We're talking about with 86% of Americans feeling financially stuck. They are unable to chase their dreams because of economic roadblocks. I need you guys to go get everybody you know and tell them to listen to today because we're going to talk about ways that you can build your money, grow your money, and find solutions for you. Okay. So, for many of these people, this is more than just numbers, y'all. It's about our personal aspirations and the ability to create a fulfilling life, which is extremely important. What is the purpose of having a life that is not worth living? And we want to help you do that. And we want to talk about that. So we're going to explore your mindset, how your mindset, your strategy, and entrepreneurship, it can help us get unstuck and find financial freedom. So today we are going to be talking to the most beautiful, relevant queens on the planet. These is my dogs. These is my girls. We got Vanessa Gopal. She has a master's in public policy. She's an entrepreneur or entrepreneur and an international travel advisor. We have Athena Gardner, also an entrepreneur, and she is the founder of We Wealth Woman. And then we have Miss Felice. She is an entrepreneur. She is the BBigCoach.com. BBigCoach.com. Is that B.big.coach? What was it again? So she is a therapist, and she is our resident doctor today. So not only we're going to talk about the financial piece, but we're going to talk about the mental and the physical, the spiritual, all of that, because wealth is really a holistic experience. And so it's not just about the money, because we can get you money. I can show you how to get money, and you can have the money. But what happens if you lose the money? There is a holistic approach to having wealth. So before we even get started in the conversation, y'all, tell your people to get over here right now because they need to hear what it is that we're talking about. Because if you really want to grow your money and not blow your money, then you need to be on this conversation. So make sure you share this video out to all your friends, all your family, and subscribe. Now, I digress. Y'all, let's get to this video because I really want to start the conversation with this video about the state of a lot of people, especially our young women. So let's start this video.
I'm literally broke. I don't have no money saved in my bank account. I'm young and I cannot buy a house because I don't make enough money. I don't make enough money to buy a house. And I'm super broke. I don't have no money saved and I work paycheck to paycheck to pay my rent. This is what people are saying on the internet, okay? They're talking about how they don't have no money. Like it's so many young people who don't have no money. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because we're overspending on other things. We're overspending, we're overdoing it. A lot of us is going out on trips, buying a lot of food, eating takeout all the time, paying for things that we should not be paying for, doing too much all the time. Like, what happened to us, like, treating ourselves every blue moon? Like, treating ourselves has become a thing every single day. Every single day, young people are wanting to treat themselves with something. And that's the problem. We're overspending, boo. You're overspending. That's what it is.
Yep, that part right there. Listen, I resonate so much with that. And I really think, y'all, because I think about my daughter who is probably in that age range. And, she had, by the time she was 22, she had her second property. But really, the type of job that she had, she could afford it, but she really couldn't. So she came and moved back with mama and she's renting her house out. Now she got a little cash flow, but it's really tough. College graduate, has a great head on her shoulders, entrepreneur, but it's really hard for these young people. But I also believe, y'all, that social media has a lot to do with why these young people, and even older people are starting to adopt it. We don't have a sense of patience when it comes to growing and building. We want to live the soft life. We want to do what we want to do when we want to do it. We want to go out to eat, and we don't want the Cheesecake Factory. So let me ask you, Dr. Felice, what do you think social media's role? Because when I listen to her, I think about, what we see out online about, and the overindulgence, I think, that is displayed out online. Everybody want to be on a beach. Everybody want to be in the Poconos, and they want to be in Tahiti and all those places. And but what do you think? How do you think social media has an influence on that?
Oh my gosh, social media is this generation's thing. And it's huge and it permeates all aspects of our life. And it's a blessing and it's a curse. Some people call it the devil. Like, but I think that if you use it properly, social media can be an asset, but it literally is designed, right, to give you mental health issues. It is designed to put you in a state of comparison.
Mm.
It's designed to put you in a state of FOMO. And
Mhm.
so even if you are in a good mental space, when you're thumbing through social media, you have to fight those thoughts of, why am I not there? Why
That.
am I not doing what they're doing? How come I'm not good enough? Do
Mhm.
I have what it takes to be able to, like, it's a constant fight for your mental well-being when you're on social media. And so then you start to engage, right? You start to say, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And that seems to be like the way to go. And so she's absolutely right. If you see all these young people living their best lives, what they're not telling you, right? Because it's not a whole picture. They're not telling you that they're living at home with their mother. They're not telling you that they
That they
rack
ain't got no furniture.
right, that they're racking up all these bills. They're not telling you that they rented that Benz for that picture moment. They're not telling you all the behind the scenes stuff. They're not telling you that everything you're looking at is a filter. And so you're going up and you're buying all these things, and they're feeding you and they're subliminally feeding you marketing tools, right? That make you want to go out and buy and purchase and do these things, because then you can become them, then you can be happy, then you can be enough. And so social media is a beast. And let me just tell you, I was on a platform with a professor who works at North Carolina State, who knows one of the people who developed TikTok. He's Asian. They do not let their children on TikTok.
Yeah, that's true. And
Children are
even
not on
in,
TikTok. Yeah.
yeah, and even in China, they monitor what they will put out for their kids, but they put everything out for hours to be able to view. Vanessa, what are your thoughts on the
I
video or on
100.
social media? You could comment on either.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cultural thing, especially with social media. It's this want to live a certain life, to look a certain way. I mean, it's a saying, do it for the gram. So you have people just going out, renting private jets, renting Benzes, just for likes, literally for likes. So you're spending, which might be your savings for your business, your college, your rent, your down payment on a mortgage, because you're too busy being obsessed with likes. So I 100% agree. I also think that someone made a comment in the chat and about discipline. And I think that it's necessary for us to teach our children how to be disciplined. We live in a culture where we just consume, consume. And as parents, sometimes we're guilty of it too. If
Yeah,
you never tell your child no, if you don't teach them the value of money, then they won't have any value of money. So I
yeah,
think it's very important, to understand that we're battling it as adults, but then what the children and the young people are all, they're battling that, and the irresponsibility of parents not teaching their children how to earn money, how to invest money. And I mean, a lot of us, like me, I'm new to investments in a lot of ways. I'm an entrepreneur, but the journey wasn't pretty. I mean, there was times where I was like delivering groceries to fund my company. And I think those are very honest conversations that we have to have, is that the journey of being in a place where you can save money is not pretty. I was
yeah.
at a point where like I decided, hey, I'm not going to have a car for 6 months. I'm not going to go out to eat to save up for a down payment on my home. So
Hmm.
I think that if you are listening to this podcast and you're young, or maybe you're an adult, understand that the journey to where you want to get is ugly, and
Hmm.
accept that. And that's okay. It's okay for you not to go out to dinner with your friends every night, because that $100, you do that 4 times a week, that's $400. Well, you could have put that in an IRA account. You could
Right.
have put that in a different, a different type of a high yielding savings account. So you multiply that by months and months and months, and it just adds up. So I think the discipline is necessary. I think we as parents have to be responsible in teaching our children the value of money, and showing them a different path and understanding what they're battling. And if they are going to go on social media, I've learned a lot from social media. Follow the right people. Have the right friends around you.
For sure.
Have the right group of women and friends around you, and it will build you even when you feel weak or you feel like you can't be disciplined enough. your team, the things that you have around you will kind of build you up. So
That
those
makes
are my
sense.
thoughts on that.
No, that's the truth. And thank you for that. I mean, I think about when you talk about doing it for the gram, and I'm just thinking about how when we go to different places, you can't even enjoy the place because you too busy recording everything. I was at the Kirk Franklin concert the other day, and everybody's recording, right? Everybody's recording. But the girl next to me, she's just doing selfies. Like, y'all, can you please enjoy the concert? I'm looking, I'm like, can she see me in her camera? Because I'm looking dead at her and she got a filter on. Like, come on, y'all really like you can't even enjoy this beautiful concert because you on there want to do selfies, but that is the culture in which we're in. And I don't want to be so focused on the social media culture, but I think it does influence the way it influences every aspect of our lives. And I think just from this young lady, it does influence how they're spending money and why, one of the reasons why they're so broke. But Athena, I want to get your opinion on this.
I want to actually take this into a different direction. Yes, there is an aspect of, people over consuming, right? But I don't want to downplay the structural and systemic things that are happening that contribute to why people, especially Americans right now, are struggling. We have inflation, right? I remember talking to my friend, her parents could have worked a factory job or a teacher's job and support a whole family. People within my generation and younger cannot do that.
Yeah.
Cannot afford, usually on their salary coming out of school, to even get a home or get things by themselves, right? We also have what outside of inflation, we also have people are not coming together at a younger age anymore. My parents got married when they were 20. Okay, I'm 33 and I'm still waiting on Mr. Right to come through, right? Even if I met a man that made even half of what I made, that would completely change what my lifestyle is currently. So because we aren't getting together, the dating, marriage, and mating market is what it is right now, and a lot of people are single, we are not being able to benefit from the economics of marriage. As bad as what people like to talk about it, it does serve a great economic purpose. Thirdly, I think what is happening in America that I don't see a lot of people talking about, or actually, I think America is going through what I call like a life cycle of countries, because America is one of the newly developed Western nations. Eventually, as more resources get used and things like that, you're forced to come together to survive because the cost of things go up. When we look at other countries, there's multi-generational living, there's all these different things to help pool resources together. And I think that's where America is headed right now.
I'm so glad that you said that because I think that's the next place I really wanted to go because social media is just one aspect of it. But I'm glad you talked about the systemic issues that we deal with. I don't know if you guys know, but 86% of Americans, they feel like they're stuck. 80% of college graduates don't work in the fields that they went to school for. So you think about people who are just existing, they're just living, they're just doing what they got to do to get by. People aren't feeling fulfilled these days, and that's very unfortunate. What is a life if it's unfulfilled? And most people are not fulfilled, they're just doing what they got to do to get by. So let me ask you, Vanessa, what do you think that with 86% of people feeling stuck and people not living in their purpose and not doing the things that they really want to do, why do you think that is? And what can we do to change that?
I think a lot of it, and Dr. Felice, you can speak to this, is the mental component. I think that we are 90% capable of, if we have the information, if we have the tools. But if you're not mentally in a place to go to the next level, or even research or identify what is the next level. I have a saying like, if you can't imagine it, then there's no way that you could ever get there. It's just
Mm.
impossible. You have to be able to imagine it. Mentally, you have to be, set up for that. So I think that, it is tangible. Like we need money to survive, but creativity in how we make money, how we think about money, where we invest money, like those are mental obstacles that we have to get through and get over to believe that it's even possible. So especially for uh our Black generation, Athena, you mentioned culturally in other cultures, like my other side of my family is Indian. They marry. It's very strategic how they marry.
Mhm.
A lot of my family has been in arranged marriages. They marry based on the family. A lot of it has to do with like the financial capability of another family, so that you're ensuring that there's this constant flow of money and success coming through. So I feel like Athena, to your point, that is a big component, partnership and marriage, and how we basically can come together as a community and partnerships to create wealth, but also mentally, right? Mentally, how can you get past being in a mindset of broke without really really believing that you can actually achieve wealth or achieve
Or
money?
when all you see is broke, when all that's around you is broke, when everything you know is broke. So,
It's
but you know
normalized.
what? I love what Big Mac said. He said, "You don't grind, you don't shine." But before I get to you, Dr. Felice, I want to go to a commercial. We got to pay the bills. So let's go ahead and hear what our producer lady had to say.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. I am Tierra Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I am the proud producer of this show. So I hope that every day when you join us, you leave a little smarter than you came, because that's the point. Otherwise, why are you watching? So if you want to receive notices for when we go live, Fly Nubian Money goes live every single day. That's Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't know, now you know. All you have to do is text the word Queens. That's Queens. That's Queens to 87948. That's 87948. That's Queens to 87948. Yes? If you want
8 yes, 87948 yes, 879. Hey, y'all, 8794. Listen, if y'all don't text the word Queens to 87948, I'm gonna send Tierra over there personally to whoop y'all's asses. So make sure y'all text the word Queens to 8794. Y'all, do y'all hear me? Text the word Queens to 87948. I like what Big Mac said about just look at what the Asians do, and I want to talk about different the way we all approach the different races approach wealth and what that looks like. But before we do that, I do want to get Dr. Felice's opinion on why are we just existing, and why are we just kind of just living for the moment. We live in the greatest country on earth with the most opportunities, and when you have foreigners that come over to this country, a lot of times they'll come over and they see the possibilities when we don't see the possibilities. It's like when I moved to DC, y'all. I moved to DC and I seen all of these opportunities for Black people. And I'm going to this networking event and I'm going over here and they're like, we got $1 billion set aside for Black owned businesses. I'm like, yo, then I go to another meeting and they go, in this county, we got $8 billion, 40% set aside for Black owned businesses. And I'm like, yo, how do I get in? And then I tell the people who are from here and they're like, they do? Where? And I'm like, I go out my door and I see all these Black millionaires driving these, Rolls Royces and shit that have taken advantage of them. But most of them haven't. They don't know. And I think they sort of live in a bubble. And I think in America, we sort of live in a bubble where other ethnicities can come over, see opportunities that we don't. That's kind of how I felt over here. I felt like somebody coming in from another country. So for you, Dr. Felice, again, why are we so kind of content, or we're feeling stuck when we're just doing just enough, or 86% of us are not fulfilled?
So I'm writing notes all over the place because this is some good dialogue, right? One is fulfillment is about purpose. You got to have a purpose, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we get off track with our purpose because we have parents and other people who come in and make it about money. And so if you're only focusing on the money aspect, you're probably delving into something that is not your purpose, which is not going to give you fulfillment. Then you got to go to mindset. You have got to change the way you view and look at wealth and money, abundance. When you said about broke, exposure, what are you exposing your children to? I was in the hood, but my mother would take me to museums. She would take me to camps that took me outside of my hood. What did that do? That created vision in my life. That created and gave me an opportunity to see something different and know what was available to me. What did that do? That flipped my mindset. It's all about how you choose to see things. If you choose to see things, right, as a certain way, you are creating your destiny with your mindset. And so that is some serious, and I do mindset work, by the way, but that is some deep rigor. And also, you don't speak what you don't want to happen in your life. You go around speaking and confessing broke, right. You manifest broke. Right. And so out of the heart, your mouth speaks. So you got to make sure that what you're thinking on, I don't care what your circumstances look like, you got to create a vision that you keep your eye on, that gives you downloads for creativity, that gives you downloads for being able to make and attract the money that you deserve and is available to you. But if you look at your conditions and your circumstances are not equipped to give you the out. So that's why people are feeling stuck.
I love that. And I'm so glad that you said that, because access and proximity is everything, y'all. I don't care if you have not had access to certain things. If you live in the hood, you got access to the internet. You could GTS. If y'all see my TED Talk, Google that shit. Everything is on the internet. But I'm so glad you said that your mom took you out of the hood and took you to those places. And that's how I was very intentional about that when my children were small, not just taking them to the Six Flags and not just taking them to the Jump Zone, museums. Take them out to the woods. Let's show them something different. That is extremely important. You know, when we go to restaurants, I let them order. They've been ordering since since they could read, because it expands their mind. But I do want to talk about, to the We Wealth Warrior, when you talk about money. It said, I think most of us don't have $1,000 in emergency fund. And then I think on average, which I wish was me, on average, the average American has about $5,000 in credit card debt. We need a minimum of 6 months of savings, but people are living check to check. How do we get out of that, We Wealth Warrior?
Well, what I've come to learn and understand about money is that it's definitely a mindset thing. Yes, we do have these structural blocks, but definitely having money is very habitual. Money is habits, right? So even if you make $500 a week, if you put in the habit of, okay, I'm taking $50 out, even if it's a small amount, it will get you in the habit of having to do that. And then you can build up as you grow, right? Mm-hmm. But what happens is, a lot of times we don't do that. We experience what's called lifestyle creep. And we just
it's called what? It's called what?
Lifestyle creep, or lifestyle inflation, meaning that as soon as you start making more,
what happens?
You take on more expense, and instead of putting money away to investments and things like that. Mm-hmm. I do believe in balance. I don't think anybody should be, just Dollar Tree and McDonald's throughout life, right? I do believe in balance, but also just getting in the habit of prioritizing what is going to give you longevity is super, super important.
Yeah, that's true. I want to go to this video quickly, but when you said lifestyle creep, that actually reminded me of me. So when I first started doing real estate, I was like, I told my daddy, I'm never going to buy a Mercedes. I'm going to keep my little Jeep, and I'm going to save my money. And then I started making all this money. The more money I made, guess what? More money I spent. I started having more month than money. I'm making over $250,000. I'm 33 and I can't pay to take my kids to the county fair. I got more going out than I got coming in, and I had to file bankruptcy. So it doesn't matter whether I made $250,000 a year or I made $50,000 a year. If I have more going out than coming in, or if I'm not able to save, then we're all in the same place, right? So I think that's also important to know, is like, just live beneath your means. Just because you make more doesn't mean you got to spend more. Don't mean you got to go out and get the Mercedes. Doesn't mean you got to go out and get the new house. I did all of those things. Luckily, I was young enough to, to learn. But I think that's what we tend to do. I do want to look at this video about, sort of what's going on in the economy.
Can I say one thing, though, Constance? Just one thing. Mm-hmm. There's an order too by which we need to do and work with money. Mm-hmm. That we don't, and a lot of us are out of order, right? And so there's a way, like, and I want people to look into the book called The Richest Man in Babylon.
That's a good book.
He tells you the order, right? And so rich people, if you don't know this, they tithe. So when they get their income, they tithe the 10th. I don't know to who, but I tithe, right? And then after they tithe, they pay themselves at least 10%. Anything after 10% is thievery. God only requires 10. So when you have a credit card that's 12, that's thievery, right? So then you tithe, that means you give. Then you pay yourself. Then you pay like your rent, right? Because that's important. Then you pay groceries, actually should be last. But a lot of people eating first, right? Right? And so there's an order by which, and people don't like that, but there's order. There's order by which we should do things, even with our money. And when you follow that order, you will be able to start finding your way into wealth. I just wanted to say that.
Well, that was good because you just answered the question for the video I was getting ready to go to. So let's go to the video and then let's talk a little bit more about it.
$186,000. That is what average Americans told Bankrate they would need to make a year just to feel financially secure. It became pretty clear pretty quickly to Bankrate analyst Sarah Foster, most Americans are not at that magic number. 75% surveyed say they are not feeling financially secure, and that's up from a survey taken in 2023.
This rapid increase in this cost of living is causing so many Americans to feel like just living comfortably is out of reach. And I think, what we do see broadly is that many wealth building opportunities, many assets have risen faster than overall household income. And I think that's really evident when you look at just what the buying power of $186,000 was back in 1980.
Foster says when she used the Bureau of Labor Statistics CPI calculator, she discovered back in 1980, $186,000 this year has the same buying power as about $44,000 a year in 1980. Foster says a lot of people feel like the economy is in a recession, even though it isn't, because of their loss of buying power, the higher prices. She says, of course, making more money always helps, but you can take steps right now, regardless of whether you're making that magic number that you feel like you need.
I always try to stress the importance of saving for the future, including for retirement and for emergencies, as much as you can. It doesn't have to be a large amount. Really, just getting in the habit of paying yourself first is what sets the strong foundation for the future.
Even if it's hard to set aside any money for the future, continuing to contribute to your 401k and even setting aside $20 a paycheck in your savings account, well, Foster says that can make a big difference down the road. And finally, try to keep your credit card debt under control, or make a real plan right now to tackle it. If you have debt, she says, try to pay more than the minimum. Every little bit helps. With this watching,
I hope everybody in the audience is listening to this. This is something, listen, there was an article in Forbes magazine and there was a study done that said by the year 2053, Black median wealth was going to be at zero. We are in a state of emergency, Black people. And if they say that, they say when America has a cold, Black America has the flu. So that means if we are in dire straits as a country, Black Americans are even worse off than everybody else. I don't want to speak negatively over our, us as Black people, but we really need to understand it and be proactive, because a lot of times as a culture, we are very reactive. We wait until we lose. We wait until the neighborhoods get gentrified before we want to take action. We wait until, the house is in foreclosure before we want to do something. I really want us to understand what she said, and what Dr. Fleece said was extremely true. For you, Vanessa, what do you think what she said when she compared today, what we need to make today in order to live is comparable to $44,000 in 1980. That means we are in a state of emergency, even though we're not in a recession. And the only reason why we're not in a recession is because people are in credit card debt. Really, that's how they're able to survive. But what do you think about that?
I mean, inflation is absolutely a real thing. But I don't want, I think we know the problem. The problem is things are going to continue to increase. The dollar is weaker. But I think I want to say before, when she talks about savings, even making small changes, if you have your money in a B of A or a Wells Fargo and some savings account that's not paying you interest, transfer it over to a high yield savings account online. Get you a 5% high yield savings account. If you're putting $50 away or whatever it is, stop paying bank fees, stop paying, take away these $5 charges. These are very small things that you can do to grow your money, even if you don't have a lot of money. We have had a hard time qualifying for homes in our Black community because of all the stipulations. I believe that that is the single most rich thing you can do is to buy real estate. It will gain equity. You will, it's like it's putting like a big, you're paying yourself back basically. So look at programs like NACA. We talked about this on one of the previous shows. Look at the local urban league. Utilize the resources. If the money isn't there, then I want to lead this podcast with you looking at the urban league. They have a lot of programs for Black business. Constant, you
Oh,
mentioned that. Look at the federal government. They have a lot of things for Black businesses. They want to do business with you. Leverage the NAACP. They give tons of money. The federal government gets tons of money so that you can come by and get the training, the consultations, everything that you need. So if you don't take anything away from me today in this podcast, transfer your money to a high yield savings account where you're not
love
paying
it.
any fees, and look at those resources. NACA will get you into a home. It will take probably 2-3 years, but do it. If you
Right.
can't
Because knock ain't no
qualify
joke.
on a W-2, yeah, just
You gotta have some
do
patience.
that, right? Do that. Small things.
I love what you said though. And I'm gonna tell you, we about to go to a commercial, but I was at a networking event last week, and it was with the federal government. They said, we have so much money and we have so many set asides for Black owned businesses. We don't get enough Black owned businesses participating. So we just got to give them to white people. They're set aside for Black people. But since Black people aren't applying, we give them to the white people. Opportunities are out there. You just got to know where. I also want to piggyback on what you said about high yield savings accounts. I'll do it when we come back from commercial.
You want to grow your money and not blow your money, as Constance says, check us out at flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, programs, videos, resources. In 2024, there's no reason to be broke when there's information all around us. So get your money right. flynubianmoney.com.
Listen. This is what I love. I love these conversations about money. I love to talk to y'all about shooting the shit and what's going on in Hollywood and all that stuff. But this is the real tea. This is what's really important to building our community. This is what my life's work is about. But I always talk about ways that you can grow your money. And so one of those things that you could do, I saved $30,000 in a year on acorns, right? So when I started flipping houses paying cash, took that money and then I bought a dispensary. I bought into a dispensary. All right. So then I have a dispensary. So I took the money from the dispensary, took my weed money, and then my acorns money. I had like $30,000 in acorns that I just saved because it takes your change and it puts it in an account, and it invests in stocks for you, NFTs. So it's ETFs, and it invests in stock for you. And so it's money that you don't see. So if you spend $10.50, it takes that 50 cents and it puts it over here and invests in stocks for you. I even have my kids. I have a custodian account for my kids, and I just put money in there every week for my kids. I took that weed money and the acorns money, and then I bought a commercial building. So all of these things, you just start with something small. And then you can take that money and invest in other things. And you take that money and then you leverage it to invest in other things, and you invest in other things. You can start small. Acorns was a way I started small. Can everybody save $30,000? Maybe not, because I spent a lot. So every time you spend, it takes money. And I 10x my acorns. But we spent a lot. So I had every last one of my accounts connected. And in 12 months, I put away $30,000. Little things you could do like that. And the reason why it's so effective is because it takes your change, money that you don't even notice, and it puts it away and it invests for you. So I want you guys to pick up these little things, these little nuggets. And I love the nugget that you just dropped, Vanessa. Do these little things because these are the things that are going to help you. This is what's going to close the wealth gap. It doesn't have to be anything grand. You don't got to get a government contract right away. The small things, the baby steps. Okay. So I want to ask, I want to go to Miss We Wealth Warrior. And I love this because you are the money, the CPA, the wealth strategist. Talk about it, sis.
Listen, I'm glad that we have that graphic up. Can we pull that graphic back up again?
Yes.
Black women earn just 69 cents for every dollar earned by white men. Wow. Listen. If that didn't just shake you right there, I don't know what will, right?
That needs to shake the table.
Flip the table, shake the table. Listen, we are historically lagging behind as far as wealth and equity in this country for a multitude of reasons, but I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on what we can do today, right now, right? We're all busy watching YouTube gender war stuff, talking about 100K is high value, when only 6% of US Black adults make 100K or more.
Speak on it.
Only 6% now make 100K or more. So we are entertaining conversations that we should not even be entertaining.
We talking at tables that we ain't even got to see that.
Okay, so what I would suggest, and a resource that all of us can take a look at, with things happening now, you need to take a look at and take entrepreneurship more seriously. I know we have and comment in the chat what your thoughts about this. I know that we were talking about getting degrees and traditional jobs and all of that, but even most of the jobs that we get degrees for aren't really paying that much for us to even, be able to afford things anyway. Entrepreneurship is a pillar on Dr. Boyce. I know the Black Business School, and it's something that we all need to look at as for the future, especially with AI breathing down on our necks. That's why I will be doing an AI workshop at ABNC for those of you who come out, right? But what I also want you guys to do is to know that resources like the SBA.gov is available to you. SCORE is available to you, okay? Go on SBA.gov. You can also qualify for loans. When PPP was coming through,
Your cousin
right.
Net.
Okay. So if you have no clue where to start, and if you can't really find resources and you want to start your entrepreneurship journey, which I think all of us need to take a look at, SBA.gov is a great place to start.
Yeah, I love that. And you know what? Big Mac said financial literacy is lacking. I think, what did he say? Financial literacy in our community is a big problem. And I saw a few comments over there. I saw Terry said something about financial literacy, good credit. A lot of Black families aren't taught anything about finances, savings. I know I wasn't growing up. I've had to teach myself, but still not where I want to be because I learned late. That seems to be the problem with so many families in our communities. How are we going to know? Because our parents didn't know. I remember overhearing my parents always talk about they couldn't do nothing because they had bad credit. I had no idea what bad credit was. I knew it was ruining our lives. That's why when I became older, I was obsessed with credit. But this is the story of so many of our lives. Dr. Felice, financial literacy is the key to our community. But how do we get there? How do we close that gap in our financial IQ?
Well, with people like you, with people like Athena, with people like Vanessa, all in their communities, in their silos, doing what they can, one person, one community, one village at a time. We got technology that our parents didn't even have. So we have platforms where, you could go to YouTube University and look up Google.
That shit.
How do I make more money? Like, no, seriously, because we live in, we do, but you get on me sometimes because I give people excuses, right? But really, there's not a lot of excuse, not with this generation, for a lack of knowledge, because it's out there. If you just can read and just start somewhere, and then like you, we should be going to flynubianmoney.com to find out what we can do. Who's out there that can help us with what we know? Athena just shared the
SBA.gov. But Dr. Felice, literacy rates in this country is not great. Only 56% of us can read above a 6th grade level.
Have somebody read to you. So but
you can scroll on Instagram now.
Dr. Felice said, I'm not making excuses today.
Right. Listen to Audible. Right. Like we can get past this. And I don't care where you start. Wherever you start, you take it and you run with it. And the universe is going to align with your action. As soon as it knows that you are serious and that you're doing something about it, it's going to shorten that time frame that you think that you're experiencing. And it's going to speed up your wealth as long as it knows that it can count on you doing something. But you can't sit in your house and complain and say that, you are no excuse, because it's available to you. You take what's available to you and the universe is going to match you.
Two things she said really quick to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go. I just want to say 2 things she said, though. I just really want to put a little punctuation, just an exclamation mark on that, because it's so important, y'all. And I'm gonna let you talk real quick, Vanessa. But she said We got them, and we got access to everything. We have more technology than they had when they put the man on the moon, y'all. There is no excuse. And then the other thing is that mindset. If you could dream it, you could do it. Go ahead, Vanessa.
So going back to also what Dr. Felice and Athena, you said, I want to add some more resources. If you don't have financial literacy, there are organizations all over your city and county, no matter where you are, where federal governments pay them to consult you in how to run your business, how to create a business plan.
Score.
Look at your Chamber of Commerce.
Remember Score?
Look,
Most.
look at your Chamber of Commerce. Look at there's a program called PTAC. If you Google it, and then they have smaller organizations that they give money to that help you get certifications, and then they go through and they will walk you through how to use the website on the government, and then they have another area where they consult you on how to bid the RFPs. So there's so many resources that you
Y'all,
can utilize.
come on.
There's no excuse, as you were saying, Doc, there's no excuse. If you want it, Google that shit, as Constant just said.
If y'all don't bring these god dang resources today, we are and I want you guys, hopefully y'all taking notes. And if you're not taking notes, put it in chat. Vanessa, which ones? Tell us which ones and put them in the chat. Put all you guys' resources. I know Athena said SBA. Y'all put y'all resources in the chat, because I don't want them to just walk away. We ain't trying to entertain y'all today. We trying to give y'all some real game, real nuggets that you can walk away with that can change your life. We gonna close this wealth gap. It's my passion. It's what I do. Oh my God, I love it. But you gotta take one step. Hey, don't the Bible say that if you take one step, the Lord will take? No, that ain't the Bible. But anyway, all you got to do is take that first step, and we're going to get there. But that's the reason why we're here, to share these resources with you. So please, you guys, go on here and put the resources that you have, because I want these people to walk away with it. There's too much out there. There's too much money. All right. So we're going to go on another little commercial break, and we're going to get right back to you.
Fly Nubian Money is now on Spotify. Yes. We are on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, you can listen to us. All you have to do is search Fly Nubian Money and we will appear. All of our episodes. Make sure that you leave a 5-star rating and review, so other people that come along and are looking for a good show to watch, they'll follow us too. If you are interested in being on Fly Nubian Money, sorry, I don't have any spaces. I'm just playing. If you are interested in being a queen or a king on Fly Nubian Money for the day, please reach out to me. I'm at info@realvirtual.net. That's info@realvirtual.net. Also, if you need help with your business, go ahead and send me an email for that too. Okay. I've said enough. Now back to the show.
She said, if you want to get on here, call. Then she said, psych your mind, make your booty shine. You ain't coming on here because we ain't got no, we do. Actually, if you please, make sure you email info@realvirtual.net. If you are interested in joining us, we would love to have you on here. I want to get a little personal though, y'all. And I want people to understand, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I thankfully made some bad decisions, right? Because I believe my hardships can be the blueprint to help other people. And then I made some good decisions. I filed bankruptcy. I was homeless, cars repossessed, homes in foreclosure. I've been through, what's that song by Kirk Franklin? I've been through the fire. Yeah, I've been through the fire. And I'm grateful for the fire. I want you guys to share. You ain't got to get too personal like me. I don't mind. I stand on mine. But some of the things that you went through, but what was that one thing or two things or whatever that helped you get out and helped you to get to that place of success? Because people need to understand that we ain't just sitting up here from a place of expertise and we know everything just because we went to college. I got a PhD, public high school diploma. So I didn't get my information from college. But what have you really been through in life that's really helped you to get to where you are? And I'm talking about, and I also want some more resources and things like that. But what helped you, Dr. Felice?
So coming up in the past, now I look at my past differently because of the mindset work I've done. But I grew up poor, and so I had a really, really huge scarcity mindset.
Wait. I need you to sit right there because, and I don't mean to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but that is so common in our community. We operate from scarcity and lack rather than abundance.
and fair, right? And what did that do? That inhibited me from really understanding how to work with money and how to make money and how to generate and attract money. And so I'm gonna tell you one thing that really saved me, and I'm not gonna lie, it's the truth. I was a tither. I gave God what belonged to His, and I would tell other people, I don't know how stuff got paid, but it just did, because my paycheck never matched it. But then I started wanting more. I started knowing that there was more for me to have, and so I started seeking, what did I have to do to get what I knew that was rightfully mine, what belonged to me. And so I started reading. I started educating myself. I mean, I read those books when I said The Richest Man in Babylon. Like, I'm still reading, right? And I started doing a lot of mindset work, and things started literally shifting for me and turning around for me, and becoming an entrepreneur. When I was working for whoever, when I was working, people say working for the man, but when I was working for other people, I was always like, it has a knee on my neck. And with the microaggressions and
angry black woman,
all that stuff. I as soon as I became an entrepreneur, my life literally shifted. So what Vanessa is saying is huge. We have to really start thinking about, or was it you, Athena? You forgive me if it was you.
Athena.
Athena, when you start looking at considering entrepreneurship. But let me just tell you too, now I just didn't run out there, because I had people telling me, just go and jump into it. No, I had my real 9-to-5.
That was your investor.
That was my investor, invested in my entrepreneurship. And I didn't leave a day sooner until I figured out how to get a rhythm about how I do that entrepreneurship. And that was my road.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you for that, because that lack and scarcity mindset is what gets us stuck. And know that if you are a child of the King, He owns a cattle on 1,000 hills. You have access to everything that's out there. There's nothing that you can't have, because you belong to Him. So therefore, everything is yours too. When you really understand that, that's when the light bulb goes on. That's when it shifts. That's when everything changes. Is when you know that you deserve the things that are out there. Can't nothing stop you. Miss Athena.
Okay, so my journey is quite different, right? Because I'm an immigrant. So we came to America when I was 9. So up until living in Jamaica, I mean, Jamaica's a poor developing country. So there's that. But I also went to private school and had nannies and stuff. So it's kind of weird with that. But we had to start over from nothing, right? 0. I came to America with 2 suitcases. We gave our house, our furniture, everything. So when I'm on here doing these lives and people calling me tether and all this other stuff and being upset that immigrants got checks, we did not got checks, okay? No, the only reason we're here was my dad got an H-1B visa, because he's a geologist, smart, and he added value, and that's a job that's not easily found here. Our parents told us that it's all of us. We're very close in age. We can't afford to send all of you to school. You have to get scholarships. So what I did was I busted my ass in school, and I should have added it up. I got at least over $150,000, $200,000 in scholarship to help pay for my education.
Wow.
From there, I started my career working for one of the big 4 firms in the entire world.
Let's go.
Learned from there, decided I hate this shit. I need to figure out how I can create a work situation and business for myself. And then I started my entrepreneurship journey. This business I have is not the first one I had. I failed a lot, but I learned a lot as well.
Oh.
And the person that you see here today is because of the sacrifice of my parents as a family. All of us starting in, I remember what that grind was for me and my family to start over. And I'm in a room with all my brothers and all that stuff to, the status that my family and my parents have of millionaires in this country today. So when people, mindset is very important, because my parents had a mindset because they were educated and they understood, and they were also entrepreneurs in Jamaica as well. It enabled them to forge a path of success in this country today, and also having expectations of us as children to do the same. And what I will also say is that you have to be willing to, like Vanessa said, get to the ugly part of it, because it was very ugly. We were eating like jelly and cheese sandwiches and Kool-Aid and all kind of stuff. And
But
my
that was
parents,
a good day for us. What are you talking about?
yeah. So the path is ugly, but I find similar to what Constance said, when you're an immigrant, you just see all the possibilities, because in those countries, they don't have safety programs like welfare and WIC and all this other stuff. You're on your ass. So when you come here, you kind of like run and go, because it's like, okay, I need to make the best of the situation. So having the mindset, regardless of whatever the background, and be committed to sacrifice,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of Americans aren't used to doing, because it is so cushy here compared to elsewhere, will get you further, and you will be able to forge a path for yourself of success.
Yeah, no, that's good. And just like Big Mac said, I think you need to tell that story more, because it's a testament to your grit and your drive. And for you guys, because I see a few of you guys on there. I see Big Mac said that he had back. He said, dang, Constance, you was down bad, huh? Yep, I was. But you guys talked about some of the things that you had to go through too. And that is a testament to your strength. But I do want to know in the comments, like, what are some things that you guys had to go through in order to get to where you are? Because I think it's important for people to understand that we're all humans. We all struggle. We've all been through some things. Listen, I don't lead with money. So don't nobody, nobody knows anything about me when I meet them. I don't lead with that, because I think that I've had it and I've lost it, and who knows, and I've had it again. And what if I lose it again? Does that define who I am? So if I don't have it, does that mean that I'm no longer important? That's the last thing that's important to me. But I think people do need to see that, look, we're human. Like, I've been through some things, and you sharing your stories, just everybody in the comment and everybody here, it's really inspirational for other people to know, look, if they've been there, if they could do it, I could do it too. Because I tell y'all, I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm not. Like, I am not the ideation person. I don't have these big ideas, but I execute the shit out of some shit. That's what I do very well. But for you, Vanessa, what are some things? What has your journey been like, and how were you able to get to where you are?
My journey, there's been a lot of bumps in the road. The path that I just saw the most easiest was just going to college. So I worked really hard, got a lot of scholarships. I moved out here to California at 18 by myself. I worked 2 jobs. I
And
put
I'm
myself
sorry,
through
you were in Minneapolis?
Minneapolis. Yeah. I put myself through undergrad and grad school, working 2 jobs. And then I graduated during a recession. And so that was interesting. I bumped my head a lot, just working for minimum wage, trying to figure out. And then my dad got sick. And so I made a decision to take care of my dad. I moved my dad out to California, was in complete disarray because I didn't know I couldn't work a full time job and take care of him, but yet I couldn't afford full time care for him. So it kind of put my back against the wall to where I became an entrepreneur. I graduated in planning, which is like economic development, construction. So I went into sales because sales was the most lucrative thing. And I realized that I was really good at sales. I procured multi-million dollar government contracts for
Let's go.
5 to 7 years, and I realized like I'm pretty good at this. I could run my own business, and so launched one company that went okay. It still paid some bills, and then I found my way. I launched my own construction company after working for an engineering firm, and I decided like I'm going to do this. And so I think for me it was just a multitude of kind of bumping my head, my back being up against the wall, but being able forcefully to support my dad and still have the means to buy a house, still have the means to do the things that I wanted to do, travel. So, I feel like I responded when my back was against the wall, and I'm grateful for that because, pressure builds diamonds. So I'm grateful for the
Yes.
pressure that I received, and I'm grateful for the sales opportunity. I realized I was really good in sales. So, uh, generally, if you're good in sales and you're good at researching how to run a business, sales is the number one thing in business. If you can close the sales and get the work done, that's business. So,
That's where the money's at.
yeah, so that's been my journey. I'm still on my journey. I feel like I learn something new every day. My goal is to start bidding federal contracts in the next year. So
Oh,
I'm really
you finna get
excited.
that. You finna get that money, girl.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. And I found a good coach. So I believe that we have coaches for basketball, we have coaches
Woo.
for track. So I don't know why people don't think that they don't need coaches for business. So I've just recently found a great coach who's actually done $40 million in federal contracts. So that will be my mentor in carrying me into this journey. So, if you're kind of confused or you don't know where to start, find you a business coach, look at programs like this, and put yourself around people that have the same mindset, entrepreneurial mindset that can lift you up, because you'll need that.
I can shout right now. I could go run around my house and shout right now to that, because you are speaking the pure, unadulterated, godly truth. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaches. Like, the reason why I make millions of dollars, I've made millions of dollars, because I want to say that because then somebody gonna try to come after me for spousal support. The reason why I made the money I made was because I've invested in myself and I've invested in coaches. But I do want to say this, and I got so many questions for y'all. This is so juicy. But I want to say this, entrepreneurs, because we're talking to your entrepreneurs. Are you looking to get your brand notice? If you advertise with us here on Fly Nubian Money, we go live 5 days a week on pages with distributions to millions of subscribers. I know y'all on some of the pages that got 100,000 million subscribers. Yeah, this is going out on tons of pages. I don't know if you guys know, but we're out on like 10 platforms right now, just right now. And then it gets played over and over again. So if you want to get that visibility, our audience is engaged. They're intelligent and they are ready to connect with businesses like yours. This, y'all, Entreprenegros, is your chance to connect with businesses. This is your chance to reach people who want to know about your business. So don't miss out. Please, if you want to get your business more visibility, email info, put it up there, at realvirtual.net and put Fly Nubian Money, put the Fly Nubian Money ad in the subject line for our rates. Let's grow your business together. Now, y'all, okay. I do got to ask you this question, because I thought about when you talk about that grit and that grind, all things you had to be through, right? Because I love these stories of the hardships and the stories and the peaks and the valleys. And there had to be some time where you felt like you failed, or you've been embarrassed, or you felt like you had to go all in. You had to take risks. You had to have sleepless nights. And I want you to give us an example, like just some shit that you had to do. Like, I remember when I first started in real estate, y'all, I was hungry. I had a Ford Windstar minivan. Sometimes the door used to fly open, right? It used to stop and it was like the carpets was all nasty, right? I did not look like a realtor. I was brand new, didn't dress that great. And I remember putting these brand new clients in my car. And so I had the wife in the front, the husband in the back, and I was like, oh shit, hope nothing happens. So I'm driving and I turn the wheel and I look in the rearview mirror and the door flies open and the husband's back there like holding on for dear life, trying to stay. He was about to fall out the damn car. And I was so embarrassed. I tried to play it off. I was mortified. But I overcompensated that with my service. Like, they knew I was young, and I think I was 26 or 27. But I just was so hungry that I didn't let that stop me, because I had a baby. I just was I just wanted to pay for daycare and diapers, y'all. But I've had a lot of these moments where I've been embarrassed. I had to go all in. I failed, y'all. L is not a loss, it's a lesson. Tell us about one time in entrepreneurship, and then we're going to let y'all go. But just give us one time where you feel like you failed, or you were embarrassed, or you had to take a risk, or you had to go all in. Just give us a quick story about that. We'll start with you, Athena.
I remember I hosted a workshop. That was going to be one of my first in-person workshops on women and wealth, actually, for this company. And I advertised, I put it on Eventbrite, I did all this other stuff, and it was actually being hosted at the Wellington Library in Palm Beach, which is like a really fancy library, but it has an event space, right? So it was really nice. No one showed up. No one showed up, and no one showed up, and it was so tough at the time, because I didn't beat myself up, because I already been through enough in business to understand that things don't work out. And it was a great lesson, because I learned how to do things, but it just felt like, okay, maybe you start to question if you're good enough, or people care about your products or services, and people don't really talk about the bumps in the road. But fast forward, I learned from that experience. I was able to put on other events that people did show up for. My last workshop was actually an AI related workshop for a women's group. I did not finish my course yet. I'm actually going to finish it this weekend, but everybody wanted to sign up for that course that's not even done yet.
Oh.
And I learned how, from that experience, I recovered on how to put on like more successful workshops and events. But if I would have taken that as a sign that I should not be doing those at all, I wouldn't, that wouldn't have happened. But yeah, sometimes there's embarrassing moments or
Yeah.
like hard moments in business.
Tell you something, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. I would have homebuyer workshops nobody show up to. I would call my daddy. Daddy, get somebody from the church. Y'all come up here and sit up in this audience. My dad will go gather up some old deacons. They be like, yeah, I want to know about credit. They say credit was like the CK, them the old black men. Like my daddy came through, brought some deacons from the church, and I said my presentation to them 3 Negroes in that big old room, and it was okay. So you cannot, and I appreciate that story, but it just brings me back, because if you are a true hustler and you want this money, it is not all pretty. Vanessa, well, give me one of them ties for you, and then we gonna wrap up. And wait. This man said, Big Mac said he had a car that didn't turn left. You know what? I almost fell the hell out, but Big Mac, go away and don't come back. Okay, go ahead, Vanessa.
Oh,
I love Big Mac.
Mine was, I reached a point when I was transitioning to leaving one career and trying to figure out entrepreneurship with my dad, where I didn't have a car. I couldn't afford to pay my rent. I was just in a bad spot. And so I had to go to my friend and I asked her, hey, she left for the summer. They leave for the summer. And I said, can I stay in your house? And it was so that I could Airbnb my apartment at the time to afford my rent. I also didn't have a car because I was trying to figure out how to save money. So I think for 6 months, that was probably the toughest period of my life. And it was very humbling. It was very humbling to have to move, and then my dad was disabled. It was just a lot. And I remember breaking down on the floor and crying and asking God, like, what are you trying to teach me? Like, I just remember that pivotal point. But it was embarrassing because a lot of times we're looking at the way that people look at us in our journeys. So I think battling my ego and me having forced humility, I graduated from a top tier university. I have all these accolades, but here I am now, not able to pay my rent, staying at my friend's house because I got to Airbnb my apartment to afford the rent, and I don't have a car. But it was 6 months, and it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about not caring about what people think during my journey. It taught me a lot about how to take care of my money. It was a time where I was able to get settled and fix my credit. And so I think that I used that moment, but it was embarrassing when people would ask, hey, do you want to come here? I don't have a car, and so
And that's a true testament that, look, y'all see my glory, but y'all don't know my story. And I
Yeah.
like how everybody in the audience is just sharing, like I said, I don't like Big Mac right there. Why did Double A call him Big Back? He said, oh, Big Back, that sucks. Sorry. But anyway, Terry said, I came from poverty and been through divorce, lost my only daughter, and have shared custody of her 4 children. Only with God's help have I been able to complete my BSMA veteran and philanthropy. And then somebody else talked about how she was on welfare. Karen Terry, she said welfare, $5,000 per year, food stamps, single parent, 6 children. Now I'm a nurse and my income is over $100,000, but I'm still financially illiterate. And and I appreciate you saying that, because that's the issue with so many of us, is that we still, even though we're making the money, there's still some financial illiteracy that's going on in our communities. Our 2 queens had to drop off, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up. But I think this is such a poignant. Oh, here she go. You back? Thank you. I'm glad you back.
Little technical difficulties.
Okay, good. I thought you just left us. No, but this was such a poignant conversation, and I mean, I love to see Black people win. Y'all don't even know. I'm a thug, but when I see Black success, like a little tattoo tear just comes down here like that, I be feeling real good on the inside. I love to see us. I love to see us in great places and great spaces, and I love to see us win. And anything that I can share to give you guys information on any little thing that I've did that could help you along the way, that's what it's about. For me, that's life. I could die today, literally. I could die today and be happy with my life because I feel like I've added value in some way to somebody else, especially people who look like me. Anyway, I like to get your final thoughts. Athena, I'll go with you, and then I'll end with Vanessa.
Well, this conversation has been very enlightening for all of us as we share our stories, but let our stories be a testament that no matter where you are in life, you can overcome and you can be successful, right? No matter what financial status. People have started over, lost it, made it back. You can do the same. If you are someone who's interested in entrepreneurship, I'm actually coming out with a new course that will be available this weekend. You can sign up for my waitlist at waitlist.wewealthwomen.com. It's called AI Business Launch and how to use AI to launch your business. A lot of you guys don't know because I'm the princess of pop culture on the show, but I also am certified AI strategy in business as well, on top as a CPA. So I share those insights in this course to help you launch your business with success and ease. My name's Athena Gardner. You can find me at We Wealth Women on all social media. And my website is wewealthwomen.com. And listen to me on the We Wealth Women podcast where you hear podcasts.
If y'all don't get this AI money, if y'all don't get this AI, go to A, B, and C. You better take her AI class if it's not at the same time as my real estate class. But anyway, no, I'm serious. Get this AI money because it's a game changer. Okay. I just really need y'all to understand. I really need to do. Okay, Vanessa, give us your final thoughts and where they can find you.
So this has been a great podcast. Thank you for everybody who's listening. You can find me at Vigo Paul. Really, if you need business resources or you are interested in government contracting, I always share information with everything that I learn, everything that I'm in process to learn. I go to a lot of networking events and I'm always learning. So I always want to bring someone up with me. My friends know if they're around me, I'm always sharing resources. So you can actually reach out to me at Vigo Paul if you have questions about certifications, how to get business counseling, or any of that. And just stay focused. Don't worry about that ego while you're growing. And I hope you guys reach out to me.
I love it. This right here, I love all of our conversations that we have, y'all. I really do. But this one right here is close to my heart because I love Black people so much. I just love you so much. I just love you. The biggest thing I could say is invest in yourself because you are your biggest commodity. You are your biggest investment. And if you are not willing to invest in yourself, then you can't complain when life hits you, knocks you down, when you're not getting what it is that you want. I have a PhD, y'all. I have a public high school diploma, and I've been able to make millions of dollars with a public high school diploma. I don't have a post-secondary education, but what I have done is I put hundreds of thousands of dollars in me. I've invested in me. I've had coaches. I go to networking events. When I go to networking events, I am very intentional. I say, somebody here is going to change my life. Who am I going to meet? Whether somebody on stage, somebody in the bathroom, somebody in the hall, somebody at the bar, buy me a drink, whatever. Somebody's going to change my life. And I set that intention when I go out there, and they could be my next JV partner. They could be my next, they could just be my next motivator. I was at a conference, y'all, one time, and this guy said, he told me about marijuana. He put that in my mind. You know what? I really want to get into the marijuana business. And I was in my mind. And so when that opportunity came up, guess what? I invested, and it's been a lucrative investment. So just be open, but you got to get out there. Zoom is cool. These little virtual summits and virtual conferences, that's a great start. Be in those rooms too, but being there in person, being in the room is everything. And then, Vanessa said, get a coach. I wanted to run around the house and shout right then and there because that's been the single biggest investment that I've made in myself. And that's the thing that I help other people do. So I help Black women from all over the country, from all walks of life, increase their net worth by 7 figures. That's my passion. Y'all, I love doing it. And I want you guys to go to my Instagram and look at the testimonials. Go to my website. These ladies love it. We're changing lives and we're making history. So I do that. But where can you find me? Everywhere. I am Constance Carter. I love this. I love y'all. Ladies, to the baddest ones on the planet, thank you. Now, listen, if you guys want to get your money right and your money tight, make sure you go to flynubianmoney.com. Also, text the words Queens to QUEENS 87948. That's Queens. Please, if y'all don't do it, we're going to get in trouble. So text the word Queens to 87948. And remember, We are on Spotify. So go to Spotify. If you can't watch our beautiful faces, go to Spotify. Listen to us when you can't see us live on Spotify. And just go to Spotify and search Fly Nubian Money. We appreciate y'all. We're going to be here tomorrow. Same time, same bad time, same bad channel. And I don't know what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, y'all. But I know today was a great day. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you to the baddest queens on the, wait, which way I go? The baddest queens on the planet. You know, this thing is backwards, y'all. Anyway, thank you to the baddest queens on the planet. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.